Hello everyone, and it's Mr. Burns and the Weather Studio back with another video. So I did a couple of videos where I announced I was filling in for Gav, and another video where I did the weather forecast for the UK for the next few days, only like a short 5-minute video, and I thought I'll see how many views the videos get, and if they do get a sufficient amount of views I'll do another video. If not, then I won't bother. And yeah, both videos got about 30 views. I thought might as well carry on. So in this video I am going to be doing the week to 10 day video updates. I'll go through various things. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be about 20 minutes. It's a typical video that Gav does most days except for Sunday. So I'll get on with that in a moment. I'm just going to load up the charts from XC Weather to see the current temperatures, and I'll be back with you in a moment. So yeah, let's get on with the video. That's my desktop background. I've changed it. It's a cargo train in the snow. You can't even see the railway tracks because it's just absolutely covered in snow. How a train can go through snow that deep, I don't know. Maybe it's been photoshopped, but it's a cool video in it, a cool photo anyway. Anyway, let's have a look at the latest temperature observations. So it's a very cold day out there. I've got 6 degrees in 3 locations. So the extreme north of Northern Ireland, Mullen Head at 6 degrees, extreme south of Northern Ireland at Shetland Island 6 degrees, and where else? Also at this place, Lossiemouth, on the extreme northeast coast of Scotland. So in a few places we are relatively mild, but for most of the UK, especially for England and Wales, especially for England, most interesting, we are below freezing in those blue colours. So East Midlands, for example, only 1 degree, Cranfield 0 degrees, London Heathrow Airport 1 degree, Bournemouth already down to -3 degrees, and it's only 6 o'clock in the evening. Shoreham Airport is at 0 degrees. Into Devon and Cornwall, Cardinham is at 1 degree, Camborne is at 2 degrees, and even silly St Mary's, the mildest place in the country in winter, is only at 5 degrees. So even in Cornwall we're basically down at freezing. Sennybridge in Wales at 0 degrees, Lake Verney at -1 degree, Liverpool Airport at 1 degree, Leeds and Bradford at 0 degrees, Newcastle at -2, Chatterhall at -0. Coming to Scotland, it's slightly less cold. Glasgow at +3, Aviemore at +1, Outnahorror at +0, Stornoway at +5, and Kirkwall in Lerwick at +5. Unusual to see Lerwick, one of the mildest places in the country, but there we go. It says the weather's light snow, but at +5 degrees I find that hard to believe. It's very unlikely to snow at that temperature. Anyway, so basically it's a very cold evening out there. Wrap up warm if you are going out, and you know, these are the temperatures at 6 o'clock in the evening, so it's only going to get colder from here on until Sunday morning. Most places are dry though, and with clear skies it will be, you know, another really cold and frosty night, with temperatures widely going to around -4, -5, -6 degrees tonight. Here's the central England temperature. So as we can see, it's been an exceptionally warm year, pretty much every year coming out above freezing, as we can see, except for December, which is coming out at 2.7, which is nearly 2 degrees below average, and that's provisional to yesterday, to the 9th of December. So after all this warmth, we're having a really cold month. To get a month 2 degrees below average is really rare these days, so the tables have turned, and despite that, it's not going to stop it being the warmest year on record though. So the average CT to November this year is 11.8, rounded up is 11.9, meaning 12 degrees, exceptionally warm. Usually by November the average CT is only 9.9, so it's 1.9 degrees above average. highest CET ever recorded was 10.98, which is 1.52 higher than normal. That was back in 2014. To beat this record, the anomaly must be higher than minus 3.51 for the remainder of this year. The lowest annual mean CET ever recorded was 6.86, which is minus 2.61 degrees lower than normal. To beat this record, the anomaly must be lower than minus 71, or it's minus 78 for the remainder of this year. That just goes to show how warm this year has been. So unless we get an exceptionally cold December, lower than minus 3.51 degrees, lower, that's more than 3.5 degrees below average, we will have the warmest December on record. No question of that. So even this cold December now, unless it's exceptionally cold, it won't stop us beating 2014 in terms of the warmest year on record. So yeah, this is probably going to be our coldest December since 2010, which had a central England temperature below freezing. I don't think it's going to be as cold as that, but I think we will have our coldest December since 2010. In our month ahead forecast, we are forecasting temperatures to be around a degree or so below 1981 to 2010 average. Just a quick drink of water. So, temperature news from Saturday the 10th to Sunday the 18th of December, significantly colder than average, not just for the UK but for most parts of Europe, only Spain and the southeastern parts of Europe coming out warmer than average. Usually it's the opposite, where the places like Greece and the Balkans and Turkey coming out colder than average, and the UK coming out milder than average. It's been like that for many recent winters, so this year's been a complete flip on that. So in the UK and Ireland, we're coming out around probably around sort of 2 to 6 degrees below average, so really cold, a really cold week coming up. Parts of Norway were going around 10 degrees below average, so exceptionally cold. They're really plunged into the freezer. Precipitation anomalies from the 10th to the 18th coming out significantly drier than average, well below 50% average rainfall for most areas, which is typical really for how cold it is usually in the winter. If the temperature's below average, then the precipitation will be below average as well. But what precipitation does fall will probably fall as snow in most areas. It snowed today for the first time since about February last year, and we've got a covering, nothing significant, but we have got a covering of snow. So here's the latest wind map from Earth. More school, I think, is struggling to load in. There we go. So as you can see, we are bringing in this slack easterly flow. I've got a shallow trough of low pressure over the country, so that's why it's turned cloudier and more unsettled today with frequent snow showers. At least where I am anyway. So yeah, it's a cold area of low pressure though, and we're bringing in northeasterly winds to Scotland around the top of the low pressure. So we will go to the GFS ensembles at Wetter Central, and the reason we're doing these videos, by the way, is because Gav is currently in New York, so Gav's Weather Vids, popular weather channel on YouTube. I'm doing the same thing he does for a few days here on the weather studio until he gets back from his holidays on Tuesday. But I might be doing, I still want to be doing some videos on here, so I'm planning to release a winter forecast sometime, and I also want to do a CFS 6 month look ahead video once a month, because Gav used to do that video on his channel and doesn't do that anymore. I also want to have a look. I also want to do a month ahead forecast at the beginning of every month as well. So I've done a month ahead forecast for December on my channel as well. So yeah, we're looking at the upper air temperatures for Northampton. As you can see, we are solidly below average at the moment. The average is a thick red line up here. So you can see we're well below that, below -5 degrees of the upper air temperatures. Whenever you're below 0 degrees with the upper air temperatures, it is cold enough to snow, provided the surface temperature is cold enough. Generally, it needs to be below 3 degrees for it to be snowing. You can see as we get towards Christmas, around the 18th and 19th of December, we do make a recovery with the temperatures going back close to average, but there is a lot of scatter. You can see the thick green line is the operational run. That takes things actually milder than average, but there is some scatter. We still have some colder ensemble numbers here and some milder ensemble numbers up here, but the trend is there is a warming trend as we head up towards Christmas. So it looks like it will get milder, at least for a few days, in the run-up towards Christmas. Now, if we have a look at New York City, where Gav is, you can see it's actually milder. Usually New York City would be colder than the UK this time of year, but now it's actually a little bit milder, surprisingly. Let's just wait for it to load. There we go, you can see we're much closer to average. Again, red line, upper air temperature average. You can see we are much closer to average, still a little bit below average, but not as much as we are in the UK. So Gav is actually, it's relatively chilly still in New York, temperatures in single digits, but it's not quite as cold as it is in the UK, where temperatures have been struggling to get above freezing in many areas for the last few days. So just to show you New York, if we go back to Northampton and I click on precipitation, you can see we've got a couple of precipitation spikes, the odd precipitation spike here and there. So these, while it's colder, will be cold enough for snow probably. And then as we get to around the 18th, as it turns milder, the precipitation spikes get a lot more frequent. So as typical in the winter, as it turns milder, it also turns more unsettled, and that will probably be rain as it turns milder. If you look at the, let's have a look at the snow forecast. So you can see, actually even beyond the 18th, we still have some snow ensembles, so it could still be cold enough to snow at times, particularly as we bring in colder sectors of air from off the Atlantic. But generally it will be turning milder from around the 18th of December. Of course, it's in the extended range, so it could change. If we look at the 2 meter temperatures, the surface temperatures for Northampton, you can see we're barely above freezing at the moment during the day, and then most of the nights are below freezing. Oh, when we get to the 18th, 19th of December, that's a changeover, and then temperatures go quite a bit milder then, to around +5 degrees during the day and above freezing at night. So not particularly mild, but certainly warmer than what it has been, and probably too mild for it to snow, so probably just cold rain with any precipitation. You can see the GFS, the thick green line, which we'll have a look at the moment. That's the GFS ensembles. That's going quite mild, the temperature's getting up to 10 degrees for a time. This December has been a big change on what we have been used to in many recent Decembers, which tends to be mild and wet, rather than cold and dry. So I'm not sure which is the thick green line is the operational run, so just try and make sure we are on the operational one, because yeah, we are. So this is how it starts off. Then we're under a shallow trough of low pressure. On Saturday it's entrenched within cold air. If we have a look at the the upper air temperatures, which I think is that one. You can see that despite the low pressure, it is quite cold, so that's why it's cold enough to snow. You can see within that cold blue air that's entrenched most of, not just the UK, but most of Europe as well. You have to go to Spain to find the milder air and the southeast of Europe, so that sort of chart sums up the upper air temperatures quite well. So we'll go through to Sunday. I'm not as slick as this thing as Gareth, because I haven't done this for a very long time, so you will have to bear with me, I'm a bit rusty. So Sunday we're going to a sort of slack northeasterly flow into Monday. Again, we're sort of under a shallow trough of low pressure. Going to Tuesday, we've got this low pressure to the southwest, and that's going to attempt to bring up milder air. And we're sort of bringing up a southeasterly flow at that point, which will still be quite cold. I would have thought as we go through to Wednesday. Again, we're still sort of bringing in an easterly flow, and for North Scotland we're bringing down like a proper cold northerly flow, so that's still quite cold. If we go to the upper air temperatures, I'm sure, yeah, we're still in the cold air. We're still in the cold air, as you can see. Just about, anyway. France has got into the milder air, but the UK is still locked into the colder air. The low pressure is trying to bring up milder air, but will it succeed? Let's find out. So let's go into Thursday. And again, we're still in that colder air, really. Friday. And yeah, that low pressure has gone to our south. So yeah, we've got a trough of low pressure up here, and that's bringing in a cold northerly flow. So it's still cold up to that point. We'll go through and see if there's any signs of it turning milder. So then we're under an area of high pressure then, so that should be turning things dry, but still quite cold. I would have thought there is a low pressure in the Atlantic, which will probably move westwards and try to bring up milder air. But whenever we've got high pressure blocking around Greenland, we will struggle to turn it milder, really, because the low pressures, instead of going here, will tend to dive southwards instead, and we'll tend to pull in cold easterly and northerly winds. So let's run on into Sunday, and yes, we are attempting to bring up milder air. So we've got low pressure to our west, high pressure to the east, and winds are coming up from the south then. So I think this is turning milder. Let's have a look at the upper air temperatures. And you can see cold air clinging on by its fingertips here. Let's move on to Monday the 19th of December. And yes, we are now in the mild air. We're pumping up mild southwesterlies. So we're in a different air mass. We're in a milder, cloudier and wetter air mass. Nice of are quite close together, so it will be turning breezier as well. And this is a much milder scenario. I'll go up to the rain days towards Christmas, and we're still mild with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. We're into a much more typical pattern. We have still got some blocking of Greenland, but we're into a much more typical pattern that you would normally expect at this time of year with low pressure. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so I got interrupted there after I've just had my dinner, so now I'm back. I'm ready to resume. I think we were looking at the GFS chart, weren't we? So it's turning milder towards Christmas time, as you can see. We've got low pressure out to our west, high pressure to the south, in a traditional zonal pattern. northwesterly winds. So if we have a look at the upper air temperatures, I do apologise, the computer is running quite slowly tonight. I'm feeling really tired, so you see it's the coldest areas to our move now, and we are a little bit milder. So I'll just get to the end of this GFS run. This could be an outlier though, as this is one of the milder runs as we saw in the GFS ensembles Christmas and Christmas Eve. We're still looking mild. The weather coming off the Atlantic, this is Christmas Day, so we're looking very mild Christmas Day water supplies with low pressure out to our northwest, high pressure to our south and eastern Europe. Bringing up the winds from the southwest, so it's mild and quite unsettled, especially for northern and western areas, dry for southern and eastern areas, mild for all areas, with temperatures probably into double digits. With that, it's a much more typical pattern that we normally have in December. This pattern that we have now is quite unusual. We're still in the blues. The air's a little bit chilly, but I would expect temperatures to be into double digits with that pattern. We'll go to Boxing Day, which is as far as we can go, and we're still looking mild. The wind coming up the Atlantic. So on this GFS one, it looks like the cold spell days are numbered. So if you like cold weather, then make the most of it, because it might not last for too much longer. So here's the precipitation chart from meteo.com. The blues indicate rain and the greens indicate snow. So this is for Saturday, the 10th of December. Let's just go a bit as well. Oh, the computer is running very slow. Right. Anyway, got snow showers for northern areas, maybe a bit of snow on the south coast. This is for the 12th of December, so Monday. And then to 13th, we got through a few snow showers around Scotland, northeast coast of Scotland. Elsewhere it's dry, cold and frosty. Some snow moving into northeastern England on the 14th. Will that clear away? And then on the 15th, we have a few snow showers skirting North Sea coasts. A few snow showers in the extreme northwest of Scotland. Elsewhere it's dry. Into the 16th, we have some snow showers around this time southwestern parts of Scotland and possibly into northwestern England. Into the 17th, we have some snow showers around Northern Ireland, some snow around the East Midlands and East Anglia, and some snow around Scotland, particularly western parts of Scotland. This is followed by rain, so now turning milder, and then you can see going to the 18th with a band of rain into southwestern parts of the country, initially preceded by snow, so you could get quite a big snow event in this, but as that milder air pushes through, that snow will turn more and more to rain. And then as far as we go to the 20th of December, still a bit of snow around the Midlands, but you can see a lot more rain around, so that's another indication that it is going to turn milder. Finally, I'll just leave you with the CFS V2 charts. These are a couple of days old now, but they should still be relevant. So I'll just open these up. Again, it loads. Anytime today. There we go, so I'll just zoom in. So these are charts from the CFS V2. I'll zoom in a bit too much. And again, so this is week 1, taking us from the 8th to the 14th of December 2022. We've got a strong blocking signal over Greenland and Iceland. That's what's bringing us good cold weather. It's forcing the low pressure southwards, and this high pressure is also being forced southwards. This is what the blocking does, it forces everything southwards. So this low pressure would normally be sort of up to the north, and that low pressure here would sort of be around here, around Spain. And that would lead to a westerly flow, but because everything is about a few hundred miles further southwards, the upshot is that it's much colder. That blocking is bringing cold air down from the north into that trough of low pressure, and we are much colder than usual. So not only is it cold at this pattern, but it's also interacting with that trough of low pressure. So week 2 takes us from the 15th to the 21st of December. This week again, blocking signal around Greenland and Iceland, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So this is, I think, attempting to turn a bit milder, the wind coming in from the west. Again, it's not a traditional zone pattern, because if we did a traditional zone pattern, that low pressure would have to be a bit further north, and that high pressure to the south would have to be a bit further north as well. So because everything's a bit further south than usual, it won't be overly mild. The temperature's probably returning close to, maybe still slightly below average. So that will still be unsettled, but a little bit milder for that week. And now we'll bring up weeks 3 and 4. And rotate it again. So week 3 will be taking us from the 22nd to the 28th of December, so Christmas week. Our blocking signal continues, and as we lose the low pressure, we get lower pressure around here, and wind will probably be coming from easterly or in northeasterly direction with that. So that's turning drier, but still very cold. And week 4 takes us from the 29th to the 4th of January 2023. Now, due to mild weather this week, we've got low pressure centred around Scotland, high pressure to the south around Spain and the Azores. It's a typical position, and winds coming from more of a westerly direction. That is turning milder and probably more unsettled as well. And bringing the wind off the Atlantic, so that is going for more typical pattern, but CFS is a bit, takes a bit longer to bring in that mild pattern. So there we go then, that's my week to 10 day video update done. I was intending to do this video yesterday, but forgot to do it yesterday, so yeah, I'm doing it today on Saturday night, a bit late, but never late than never. So I appreciate this won't be the same standard as Gav's video. I don't know how many people will be watching this, but yeah, it's just a Gav's one of its style video for you to watch while Gav is not uploading because he's away on holiday in New York. So tomorrow on Sunday I will probably do, I'm hoping to do the weekend forecast video that Gav normally does on Saturday. I might also do a CFS 6 months look ahead video, and then on Monday I might do a JNA Friday video. That's when Gav looks at the CFS and JNA for the next 4 weeks. I might do that on a Monday, and then Tuesday I'll probably do the EC 30-day look ahead video that Gav does, and then Wednesday of course Gav will be back from New York if everything goes to plan, of course. Also as well, I might do a Sunday roundup as well, but on Sunday we'll see. But I'm very tired, so my voice is giving out, so I'll end the video here. Thank you very much for watching if you got this far, and will see you in the next video. Bye for now.